Hi, I'm Dan from Evolution Support Services here, and welcome to this EFT tapping on relieving the stress around going no contact. When we've made the decision to go no contact, it's normally from receiving years of abuse, normally narcissistic abuse, and a part of us has decided to stand up and say no more and no longer have interaction with the abusive person or people. And this is not an EFT tapping to help you make that choice. It's not a choice that I wish upon anyone. It's a choice that I've had to make for myself. But it does carry a lot of pain and emotions from making a choice to walk away from someone that has been clearly abusive, or in some cases, not clearly. So let's do an EFT tapping on relieving the stress around going no contact. So taking full responsibility for your own well-being and repeating after me. Let's go with that flow. Let's begin to tap. Even though I made the decision to go no contact, and I carry a lot of pain from that decision. I carry a lot of doubt, and I carry a lot of guilt, and I really carry some fear from making that decision to love, honor, and accept myself. Even though this decision I did not make lightly. This decision came after years of abuse, where myself as a person was degraded, devalued, and demeaned. And I made that choice to love, honor, and accept myself, even though people will never understand my choice, for they were never there, never experienced what I experienced, and never saw what I saw behind those closed doors, or behind the backs of what the abuser called as friends. But I shall be truthful with myself as I love, honor, and accept myself. I made the choice to go no contact. This was not an easy choice for myself. To make this choice meant no longer interacting with people, not just the abuser, but those surrounding the abuser, because they tailored this image in order to perpetuate further abuse. It's not like the movies, where it's clear where the villain is. Sometimes the villain seems nice to others and cruel behind their backs. And boy, are they kind to be cruel. And they use this kindness as a form of manipulation, a form of turning someone's identity upside down, and to keep them trapped behind closed doors so that they can perpetuate their abuse, while seeming like the good parent on the outside, the good partner on the outside, the good boss on the outside, the good religious leader on the outside, the good spiritual leader on the outside, whilst further perpetuating the abuse upon myself. And myself as a person was trapped in a world where I saw this person as the shining light, as the voice of reason, as a person who could do no wrong, even though they did so much wrong, even though they promised so much, but they controlled so much. This controlling person in my life, who really controlled me with fear, financial fear, power struggles, who wanted me silenced, who didn't want me to have my voice, who didn't want the truth to be known, and tried to twist my truth and my perception of myself towards others and towards myself. All this crazy making behavior. And I really got tired of being that crazy person, of being that convenient person, where they can vent all their frustrations, all their anger, all the things from their past that they decided to perpetuate upon myself. If they were unfaithful in the past, they project upon me that I am the unfaithful person. If they were physically abused in the past, they might project upon me of how they live in fear of myself, even though I get scared when they come home. All this fear, all this guilt that I had to carry, all this shame that I was made to feel for whatever I did in my life. When I tried to be more in my life, and boy did they make me feel less. And little by little, day by day, week by week, month by month, countless years after countless years, a resentment grew. A resentment about being treated this way, and in such an inhumane way, by a person that thought that it was right, that I should have no rights, and that I'm just there to be used and abused. And I made that choice to no longer interact with such an abusive person, with such a manipulative person, and even to call them a person. It's quite an achievement. Because they were not worthy of my time in the end, and definitely not worth my energy. And I made that decision. A decision to go no contact, to no longer interact, to no longer partake in their manipulative ways and their abusive ways. And what a brave decision that was. And I honor myself by making that decision. But it's a decision that carries many emotions. And everything that I was brainwashed to believe doesn't magically go away with making that decision. And even the person magically doesn't go away with that decision. And try as they might, they try and break down a boundary that is now being asserted. And they might demean me for having boundaries. And boy, does that speak a lot. Trying to get access to what they don't have and shall never have. Because I'm honoring myself and I'm accepting myself. I'm accepting the reality of my experiences, of the abuse that happened to me. Whether people believe it or not, I'm not here to prove that to them. There are people that will, and people that won't. And if I'm having to prove my reality to a person that won't accept it, that I won't accept them in my life. Because I'm not here to prove the abuse that happened. I'm here to release the abuse that did. All the guilt that I feel for standing up for myself. And this guilt that I have was there for a reason. Because if I'm made to feel guilty about having a sense of self, for having my own needs and wants, then I'm definitely going to be in service of others. I'm in service of myself now. I'm taking care of my own needs. And boy, is this guilt understandable. And it's also releasable, because it's not my guilt to carry. And I might live in fear of the repercussions of making this decision to going no contact. And I might have lived in fear of many other repercussions when I was within this abusive relationship. So it's only natural that I'd fear further repercussions when this person isn't in my life. And boy, does that mean I was living in fear. But I'm living my life for myself now. And I'm open to releasing this fear of this control that this person tried to have over me. And the person doesn't go no contact for no reason. And the reasons might have been this abuse that I received. And that's a good enough reason. Because I'm good enough for that reason. To honor myself. To love and accept myself. From a person that couldn't do this for me. And boy, is that powerful. And all this pain that I feel. All this grief. All this grief of this childhood that I never had. And I might want to go back. Because I doubt myself. And I might say to myself, maybe everything is different now. Maybe they've changed. And when I reality check that, did they change when I was in the relationship? Within that family dynamic? And did I try to make some changes? And did those changes ever take effect? And as hard and as painful as it is it a life where I want to continually receive abuse? Or a life where I love and honor and accept myself? And it's not easy, but neither is receiving abuse. This life that I live, I might be standing on my own 2 feet now, but it's my 2 feet. It's my decisions and mistakes that I make. And every step forward that I take is a step forward for me. Take me away from an abusive person. And I might not be perfect in my decisions, but I had faulty teachers in the start with. And I'm getting better at myself. And I'm making better decisions for myself. And I'm learning to be better for myself. Learning to undo some of these patterns of behavior that were perpetuated within me. by a person who really didn't want the best for me. But I'm wanting the best for myself. And this going no contact was probably the best boundary that I could set for myself. And if people want to judge my confidence, I have to remind myself of what a powerful decision it was, of what a confident decision it was to believe in myself, but no longer believing in disbelieving statements said to myself. I love myself. I accept myself. I honor myself. I undo the years of abuse done to me by simply saying no. I shall no longer partake in abusive behavior. I'm not here to suffer fools in their foolish ways. I honor myself. I love myself. I am the gift to myself, and I give myself the presence of being with my emotions, because they could never be with theirs. And I sit with my emotions, and I release those emotions into the inner child within me. I say to that child, I'm here for you, mate. And I'll never let that person hurt you again. And I honor myself by no longer allowing the hurt. And boy, does it take strength. I empower my sense of self by letting the abusers go in my life and being so much more in myself, in mind, body, and spirit, and taking a deep breath in. And yes, even after years of going no contact, it's not an easy decision. It's a decision, a brave decision, where you stand up for yourself and say, I shall no longer be accepting of abuse. And it still carries a lot of emotions. You are effectively orphaning yourself in that and going into the world and making the decisions for yourself. But it is a decision that carries so much power, so much strength. And I think that's what survivors probably need to hear, is that we can do this. And we can do this even by ourselves, and we can do it because we deserve it. So I'm Dion from Evolution Support Services, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.